All righty, Arelis, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I understand that you are seeking a full-time opportunity in Volusia County. We chatted about a few different opportunities. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the work that you have been doing up until very recently? And I understand, I do want to make note that the company was in New Jersey and you were working there in New Jersey, and then they let you stay on remote here. And now that position
Correct.
has ended. So now you're looking to get back into an office and a full time
Correct.
position. Okay, great. So please tell me a little bit about what you did at that job.
Okay, so there I was pretty much like administrative accounts receivable. In terms of that, I would be the one to get the orders from our customers. We were a furniture wholesaler. So we would get the orders. I would input the orders via QuickBooks. Um, then pretty much I was responsible for setting up transportation for the merchandise. Like I said, it was furniture. So I would like I said, set up the freight.
Okay.
I would collect the payments. Afterwards, if there was any service issues, I would help resolve those. By forwarding it to the owner, and he's the one that used to approve it or not. In terms of administration, I mean, pretty much, like a regular administrative role. So I would do like regular filing, faxing. Well, that was more on site, obviously. Like once I moved remote, it was more virtual, I guess. My filing, um, answering phones. They actually sent me the phone here.
Okay.
Um,
Were you making any outbound calls as well?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Uh,
inbound,
yeah.
outbound calls.
Mhm.
Alrighty.
Um, what
Yeah.
else?
What about
Emails.
answering any like did you have any disgruntled people that ever called, like anybody that wasn't happy?
Yeah.
How do you manage that situation? How do you de-escalate the situation?
um, well, it depends. Usually, like we had service issues often.
Mhm.
Um, there were some things that I could easily approve, like if we have service parts, for example, I was able to, just take care of it. I would make the service documents, and just prep it and get that shipped and going. If it was more serious, then I would get all the information I needed, like the invoice dates, the problem, and then I would bring it directly to my manager. And then pretty much that would cut down the time to resolve the issue, which kind of like just following up with the customers as it was a good enough reason to de-escalate it, I guess, because at least they knew that we were working on the issues
Absolutely.
versus just ignoring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what was in my hands I would resolve. If not, then I would just bring it immediately, to the attention of my manager.
All right. And then tell me about your computer skills. You've got listed here Microsoft Office, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, QuickBooks, and then AS400. Was AS400, where were you using that?
That was back in Costco. I was the RTV clerk there, and pretty
Hmm.
much with that, that was just like the system they used to input pretty much the items that were returned.
Hmm.
Um, it was more or less, I guess, inventory control in that sense, but
Okay.
I wasn't the one receiving item like the trucks. I wasn't the one that receiving, but that department was part of receiving. So I guess I had access to it, but I didn't. I wasn't the one actually inputting the inbound, outbound truck.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
And then as far as the Excel and Word, how would you rate your experience in that?
Well, Word, second handed, like second nature.
Okay.
Excel, I feel comfortable with it. I just know that for some positions, for example, you guys use like pivot tables, and that advanced stuff, that makes me nervous. Pivot tables
Okay.
always,
Yeah.
like from way back in school, always, oof.
Yes, I get
Um,
it. That's okay. Um, pivot tables is very advanced. So if somebody's looking for advanced, of course,
eh,
there is that.
mm-mm.
All right. So then as far as like entering, you're comfortable doing that,
Yeah,
going
yeah,
in
yeah.
and
It's
okay,
just when it's advanced,
gotcha.
that, yeah, that gets me.
I understand. Okay. Um, so as far as an in-office position, what skills do you think that you have would make you a good admin assistant for a law office?
Well, I've worked in customer service already for like 8 plus years. Yeah, I've lost track already. So I guess that communication is there like between coworkers or even like outside, vendors or whatever, outside people there are. So there's that. Also I'm very organized. I like, everything to the T. Um and I do follow up a lot on things. So like I make sure everything's finished before I move on. I don't just leave it pending. Um but yeah, like
Okay.
pretty much between those things. I think it's a good
And
combo.
yeah, for sure. And we talked a little bit about that you're available to start as soon as possible, but you do have a personal request from February 12th to the 15th that you do need off, that you are leaving the country for those
Mhm.
particular, or actually it was the weekend before, right? Was that the 10th?
Correct. But
Okay.
it's the Saturday, this Monday to
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. So you need it off Monday to Thursday.
Correct.
Okay. So that's what I've got here. I've got it noted that you have reliable transportation. You have a very good backup for childcare. Do you live with your
Yeah.
mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So your mom is your backup for childcare, and that you can commute to South Daytona. And we talked about salary. I think that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the interview. But don't go anywhere because we still have some more things to talk about
Okay.
before we move to that next step. Okay, just a moment.